Hello guys, it's Chum3 here doing another Bakugan Armors review. So today we have Shippu Zeku. So this is the Ventus Bakugan Armors Bakugan. There's a look at it in ball form. Opening it up. Opens up fairly simply. And you also do have the soul pieces to flip out. So, just a quick look at it. Of course, does have fully plastic arms and metal soul pieces. Also, it can be either 730 or 740 Gs. This is actually the Bakugan with the lowest max G power in all of Bakugan Armors. Everything else is minimum 750. This one's only 740, and this is the higher of the two, so kind of unfortunate. Anyway. So, Shippu Zeku, what does this thing do? Well, first, how much do I like it? I'd give it a solid 6 out of 10. I think it's a cool looking Bakugan. I like the metal souls. I think it has a nice design, but nothing remarkable. Still very good. I mean, obviously, in the grand scheme of things, it's amazing, but in kind of BakuTech / Bakugan Armor standard, it's a 6 out of 10 seems fair. So how good is this thing? What does it do? And whatnot. So first up, physically speaking, it's nothing to really write home about. You have metal soul pieces. You can do like spin shots and stuff with it, but I mean, it's not anything spectacular compared to other BakuTech. Doesn't really have any attack potential here. It doesn't do a whole lot, if we're being honest. Again, I guess spin shots, but that's like the only thing I could really give it. I mean, you could swap out the arms, but at that point it's basically just a different Bakugan, which is why I'm not doing that. We're keeping all these together, but yeah, it also has the lowest G power, but it's still high G power compared to BakuTech, so 740 is still respectable. It's just not quite to the level of some other Bakugan Armors Bakugan. You also have, of course, plus win. So what plus win does is, when you land on your gate card, you get to have whatever attribute bonus you have, and then also the Ventus one. Of course, in the stock version here of Shippu Zeku, it's just the Ventus bonus twice, but this does give some coverage if you do opt to swap out the attribute arm, or just plug the skill arm onto another Bakugan. So you do get some utility there. You have coverage. So obviously, again, if you have a different attribute arm, you could land 2 different attributes. And yeah, if you get lucky and get good bonuses on both, then you basically just get 2 good gate bonuses. However, if you just hit on one and not the other, well, that's still good. It means you covered 2 of these 6 attributes, so you're more likely to get something there. And obviously, if you want to go all in on Ventus, in that case, like this thing does in its base form, well, if you hit on Ventus, I mean, you are getting a lot of G power. However, while this would be good, and obviously tied with 740 Gs, I mean, this would be a pretty solid Bakugan. The problem with this, though, Yashitagaris is simply better. We will get to that when we get to that, but it just is basically inherently worse than Free Select plus Wind is, and then also, I mean, Darkus is just a better attribute than Ventus, generally. Not generally, just it is as a whole. Not saying you can't use a Ventus Bakugan, it's just, Darkus is the best attribute in BakuTech, which I'm qualifying these is part of BakuTech still, but there's that. Also has higher base G power, and yeah, there's not, oh, and it also has metal soul pieces as well. There isn't a whole lot this thing does better than Yashitagaris. In fact, nothing at all, unless you specifically want Ventus, but aside from that, yeah, this thing is, kind of just directly outclassed in literally every way possible. Even physically speaking, there's really nothing here of note that's better than Yashitagaris. I don't know, there's just nothing here for this thing. This is probably bottom 2 of Bakugan Armors, I would say. I will say, it's still a 5 out of 10. I will still give it a 5 out of 10. It is still okay, simply because it does have a high G power, and it has potential for a very high G power. So this thing is still a threat, which is why I think it's still decent enough. The problem, though, is just it's outclassed, And also, there's really nothing of note physically for this thing. Again, spin shots only take you so far, and, well, there are much better Bakugan for that. This thing just, has metal soles, and it can do that, but yeah. So overall, this Bakugan is not overly great. It's mainly just care about the fact that it does have... It's an Armors Bakugan, meaning that, yes, you still do get high G power, but it's not high enough, so it's still okay, but nothing remarkable. So anyways, that's really about it for Shippu Zeku. It's not that interesting of a Bakugan. Definitely one of the less interesting ones. I think there's quite a few that aren't as interesting from Bakugan Armors. However, next week I do have a very cool Bakugan coming up. That will be a very fun one to discuss. I'm looking forward to that, of course, being Hadokayo, so we'll get to that when we get to that, again, next week. So anyways, that's all for this review, so thanks for watching, and bye-bye.